Hey y'all, it's Ben with Whitetail Hollow Farms. Man, so it's been a minute since I've been in front of the camera. Sometimes I'm behind it, like this. So the last video that y'all saw from us, actual video, not just a YouTube short, which we're gonna start doing more of those, was me talking about how we're coming back to YouTube. Well, that didn't exactly work out the way we wanted it to. We got so entangled with the whole lawsuit thing and my car accident. We got busy, and then I had to get wisdom teeth pulled, and it was just one thing after another. So the lawsuit's all settled now, putting the car accident behind me, and we're getting back to YouTube, hopefully. So we've been hard at work off camera. A lot has been done around the farm. Some of them are big noticeable differences. Other things are minuscule things that just needed to get done. But by all the sounds in the background, all the chirping, peeping, other noises you might hear, we are in peak emu season right now. So we've got everything from these little guys right here, working hard in the bottom of the hatcher. We've got the little guys here, the kind of in-betweens, and then we've got the littler guys up in here who are huddling up under the heater. So we've got chicks available right now. This year, shockingly, we've made it through our waiting list, it seems like. Now, I say we've made it through the waiting list. We've got some folks who still want to come get chick, but unfortunately, due to the HPAI outbreak this year, and I wouldn't call it much of an outbreak, but many states are taking big precaution, and we like to play by the rules. So states like North Carolina, Georgia, and I'm sure there's a couple of others, we cannot send birds to right now. We're a licensed hatchery with the state, and we have a P1 designation, so we can send birds out of state back home with you through the NPIP program. And we like to play by the rules and not go where we're not supposed to. So unfortunately, those of you in those states are gonna have to wait to get your birds from us right now. But by all means, if you are interested, our waiting list is virtually over now, despite the few people that we have in those states that are currently on lockdown. So feel free to contact us, even if you are in those states. We'll add you to the extended waiting list. And if you're interested in chicks right now, and you've got a place to put them and take care of them, hit us up on Facebook or our email, info@whitetailhollowfarms.com. I'm usually the one who gets back to you on the email, and sometimes Gigi will get back to you on Facebook, or it'll be me. So we've got multiple pairs available right now. These guys need to go. We've got one pair out towards the barn that needs to go. These guys have soiled their mat in the past 2 days, so it's time to move them out to the barn. They're about that size, and these guys in the bin are probably going to get moved in there after it is all cleaned out. Real quick, this is the craziest thing, and I don't really think I have a whole lot of videos or pictures of it, but look at the way that the Rhea lay. These are our two male Rheas. Unfortunately, we hatched some eggs and we ended up with two males, but at least they're companions to each other, and we didn't end up with just one. So they lay with their leg laid out behind them, and they'll stand right back up without any issue. That's just how they lay down. That is a special feature to them. Back on topic here, I just was walking by the Rhea pen and thought that was interesting. Those guys are gonna get let out with the emus soon. They're getting to about the right size, and they're just in that enclosure to get them kind of integrated in. So some upgrades to our setup here. I'm out in our goat barn right now, which is being used as a goat barn. We've got little babies down there in the corner. Miss PETA. I think you can probably make out what PETA stands for. Pain in the you-know-what. She just had two babies. She's being a great mama. We've got her in here with some farm straw, some hay, some pellet, and she's got her water, and she's taking care of her little baby. On this side, however, this is where we've been keeping our emus. So if you've watched our Emu 101 series, which I would highly suggest you do, you've probably seen this stall before, but it looked different in that video. So last time you saw this stall, that's a tongue tie, it was dirt with stall mats on top of it and a carpet on top of that we had the emus in. Well, this year we upgraded. Mom and I learned how to do concrete, and we went ahead and put in a 4-inch slab of concrete, and we've got carpet down on top of it. So this is a great surface. If you have somewhere like this to keep your chick when they get a little bit bigger, highly suggested. We've got a heat plate over there in that corner, and usually we'll have some hanging bucket like this that'll hang down here with water and food in it. We keep up to about 10 chicks in this area before they need to get moved into a different enclosure, and usually by then they're gone to their new homes. This is kind of their final stage with us, and usually we like to be able to send them home before they even get into this space. But this has been a big enhancement for us, having this new area. When it's not being used for emus the rest of the year, it'll be for goats like PETA, and we'll put some farm straw down in here and they'll have a nice safe place to hang out. Isn't that right, PETA? We keep these 2 pieces of wood here just to keep anybody from running in and out when we got the gate open. Sometimes they inevitably try to get over it anyways. This setup will typically last us about a week before we have to change out this carpet. What we'll do is roll it up from one end like so and start laying down the other carpet starting at that end. We take these carpets out and we have a pressure washing area. We'll pressure wash it all down, sanitize it, and roll it back in here when it's time to redo the cycle. So it's been a massive improvement for our operations as far as safely raising these chicks. We don't have to worry about them being on an uneven surface where they can slip and mess up their legs, because it's all about the legs. Our master plan is to basically have all the area that's within the walls concreted here. So we've got to do the big bay here still, and we got to do the stall that PETA's in, but that's down the road after emu season is done and after people like PETA are out. So of course we've got all of our daddies hanging out over here. We've got Quinn, we've got Ollie. They're checking out the babies who have been moved into the Rias coop. Like I said, we kind of did a little bit of a shuffle there, and we moved everybody out of the barn and into the coop, and then we moved the Rias out of the coop and into their new enclosure. And the Rias will soon be out here with the emus doing their own thing. So we are keeping 4 emus to ourselves this year. It wasn't exactly planned, but we had a girl that hatched on my birthday, and of course mom Gigi said we've got to keep it. So we're keeping her. We're keeping a very friendly girl that we had hatched that is just irresistible. You can't keep her away from you. And we're keeping 2 boys. So we had a boy who ended up twisting his leg. Us, the quote-unquote experts, as people say. I wouldn't call us experts. We're no different than anybody else. We're learning just like y'all, and we pass on what we know to you. So nobody's an expert. We've had people come out here and say, hey, we're experts now because we watched all your videos. That's not the case, I promise you. Everybody's still learning. We deal with new things every year. So we did have one slip this year. He's actually doing pretty well. I'll show him to you. This is Eden. This is the very nice girl that we have this year. She won't leave people alone. She's super clingy. But let's see if we can find the boy that I'm talking about. So we've got a pair right there. These 2 guys. That is a male and a female, or vice versa, that are going to go soon. And this guy here in the corner actually ended up twisting his leg. Hi, I know Eden. Eden is super excited about the camera. Won't leave it alone. What are you doing? Goodness. She's just super friendly, and that's why we're keeping her. So, come on, you want to get up, buddy? So, yep, there you go. You can see we put some vet wrap on him. He has a slip tendon, but he is surprisingly making it around very well with the vet wrap on. He couldn't even stand before we put that wrap on him, and he's got a little bit of a gimp to him. Yes, I know, Eden. Goodness gracious. But he gets around, he stands, and everything else, so it's a little miracle. We're going to be keeping that boy because obviously we don't want to pass this trouble on to anybody else. Everybody but 2 guys here in this coop. This one right here and that one there. We are keeping those 4, and the other 2 are going to find new homes. So again, if you're interested in getting some emus like Ollie here, which will be eventually what you end up with, feel free to email us info@whitetailhollowfarms.com, probably on the screen here, or just message us on Facebook. We'll send you a form that you can fill out for us so we can get your name, your phone number, email, address, all that information that we need to fill out our paperwork to send them home with you. And there'll be a little questionnaire as to what sort of experience you have with emus, if you've ever been around them before, and that'll help us help you as to what you need to know before you take them home. We've got some short videos that we want to start coming out with to kind of expand on the Emus 101 series, which will eventually get sort of remastered in a way. We'll have some new information in it. We'll have a better method of getting it all relayed to you. Well, the short videos will be stuff like what sort of enclosure or pen you need to have at home when you bring home your babies, or just how to transport them home. We've had an unbelievable amount of people this year that have said, well, how do I get these babies home? What is the safest method to do it in? So we're gonna put a video out just based on small things like that on how to safely transport your baby. So there's your emu fill. We're gonna move on to some other quick update stuff as to what we've been doing here around the farm. We have no doubt been very, very busy. Now that we've got some of these projects in motion, we can make sure that you're following along with us here. So this is Mom's garden area. This has pretty much been all her, apart from me helping her fill in some garden beds. We're going to get this whole area redone and in nice, beautiful, pretty raised beds eventually. The ducks are going to find a new home, but this has been her main garden bed that she's been working her butt off on. She's got some loofah right here, cucumber in between, and those are grapevines. She has, I think this is called a trellis. I'm probably wrong. I'm not the garden guy here. And those grapevines are going to grow up and over. We've got some gem corn growing right here, and she's got some special sunflowers. We've of course got some different trees that we're playing around with. We've got a gala apple tree, we've got a honeycrisp apple, we've got some lemon trees. She's got some more blueberries, grapes over there, and we've of course got our strawberries in her green stalk planters. Got some dead ones here that we're gonna have to replace, but we've got this green stalk that's doing fairly well, that she's got some great looking strawberries in. So Mom's been working hard at the garden. Super excited to see where that goes. On the topic of gardening, we're going to be planting some corn, beans, and probably watermelons and pumpkins over in the big garden on the other side of the property. We're gonna do mini blue popcorn, sugar baby, I think they're called, watermelons, some different pumpkins. I don't know the varieties on those. I think she's got some telephone peas or something, or beans or something like that. And we're gonna do a Three Sisters garden over there. Next to that garden, we're also going to do, through the First Acre program that we joined through a company called Green Cover Seed. Definitely check them out. There'll be a link in the description to them. Their Milpa garden mix. So we were very thankful to be accepted into the program, and we'll be growing 35 pounds of Milpa garden, which has 30 different species of plants. We'll be donating 50% of that harvest to our local food bank, which is Community Cares in Havana, Florida. Every year we'll donate a hog or something like that to them, and this year we're going to try and donate, on top of whatever our usual hog will be, a Milpa garden harvest. So that's where we're at with gardening. Now, if you were with us during our farm tour this past year in October, you will know that we talked a lot about taking out all the timber on the property. Geez, Hoover, what's your problem over here? You hungry, man? I'll get you some food in a minute. It's going on dinner time for all the critters. Everybody's anxiously awaiting for me to feed. But you can see that we have not done a whole lot on that front. We talked to a few different timber companies, and everybody pretty much gave us the same answer. That they could come in and take all of our timber and we pretty much break even. They wouldn't charge us anything. We wouldn't pay them anything. So it didn't really work in our favor. Not something that we really were ready to go ahead and pull the trigger on, because there's a lot of value in this timber out here. Although we're dealing with some of the dead trees out here, there's plenty of nice, big, alive pines that are worth something, or will be worth something one day. So I made the decision to go ahead and buy this little rig right here. This is called an Alaskan chainsaw mill. So this is a type of sawmill, I guess you could say, that you can put a chainsaw in and mill your own boards and plank and posts. So instead of somebody dragging a ton of equipment into our property, making havoc for weeks on end, and leaving a mess behind, we're gonna go ahead and start taking these trees out ourselves. Now, we don't have all this stuff to pressure treat these trees and make the boards last forever, but we do have garden sealers and other stuff that we can use to at least expand the life of the wood if it was not treated. So at my own leisure, I'm going to start taking out these trees one by one and converting all of these pastures into the lush green regenerative ag pastures that we've always wanted to have for all of our critters, so that we can get them off of all the feed that we're buying. Now, we feed good high quality feed. We feed alfalfa pellets, we feed non-GMO ration mixes in certain circumstances. We're not feeding them crap, but they don't have any grass to go chew on out there. So we obviously want them to have that option to go out there and graze, and it'll help our feed bill. It'll make them even more healthy than they already are. So my chainsaw shows up hopefully next week. I've ordered a Farmer Tech G660. It is a clone of a steel 660 chainsaw, and it's made almost to the same spec. Pretty much everything can be changed over from an OEM steel part and put on this saw. So we'll do a whole in-depth video on my whole setup that I plan on using. I'm brand new to the whole chainsaw milling thing. Haven't even milled a tree yet because I don't have my saw yet. So it'll be interesting. I do have experience using saws before, not taking out live trees like this, but it's all gonna be a great big learning experience, and we're gonna take it at our own leisure, do it safely, and do it to a manner where we won't disturb any of the guys out there on the pasture by leaving behind a great big mess or coming in with great big machinery. On the topic of hay production, so we're gonna very briefly touch on this. Our winter mix is almost ready to harvest, coming into May here. It looks like we'll be harvesting. Our oats and cereal rye are doing pretty good. Very excited to get those cut and baled. My baler is in shambles right now. It needs to be completely redone, so needs brand new bearings in it and some belts, so got to do that very quickly. I picked up a brand new 2-basket tedder, or well, new to me 2-basket tedder, that I'm in the process of stripping down, repainting, putting all back together so we can put that to use. So we'll harvest this winter mix real quick, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, after I get the baler ready to go, tedder ready to go, and the mower and the rake they've been ready. And then we'll go ahead and drill in a summer mix. I'm in the process of talking to Green Cover Seed on that and getting our summer mix all picked out so that we can get that drilled into the ground and get started on it. Are you still with me here? We're almost done. We're going to our very last thing we're going to touch on. So those of you who stuck around to the very end, you're fixing to get a special treat here. This is something we've had in the works for almost a year now, and it's just now coming into motion. All right, we're looking away from it. Are you ready? Here we go. Boom. Welcome to the feed shed. This is a 12 by 28 building that we ordered almost a year ago now that we're deeming the feed shed. And that's what it's being used for right now. So this building has not had anything done to it besides putting some nail filler in on the exterior wall. We haven't finished with that. It needs to still be done, finished, taken care of. And then we're gonna paint this a nice homestead brown and put a porch on the front and throw up some walls inside. So like I said before, this is an agricultural feed shed. We've got some chicken feed stored in here. We've got some deer feed stored in here. We've got some stuff from the hatchery stored in here. And we've got some tedder parts stored up there in the loft. The building's got a 17-foot loft over the back half of it and an 11-foot area over the front area of the building. This building has been a long time coming, and we are super excited to finally have it here. It's really gonna change the farm for us, and we can't wait for y'all to see what we do with it. But right now, it is an agricultural feed shed where we store all of our feed for the farm. Hopefully in the coming week, we'll be able to get it painted and get electricity and water run to it, because those are things that we need in our feed shed to make up buckets of feed. So I just want to thank everybody for sticking around through this video with us. If you're interested in emu chicks, once again, just contact us. We'd love to send you home with a pair. We've got more coming, hatching every day it seems like. So thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you in the next